Good morning, Fullness family. I hope each of you has started off to a good week and is looking forward to what the Lord is doing this week and in the days ahead. Before I get started, I just wanted to give a shout out to the guys who organized the men's retreat this past weekend. It was a fantastic time, full of fellowship and games, learning from one another, praying for one another, getting to know each other better. And if you weren't able to make it, I hope that you can make it the next time around and get to know guys in the church in the meantime. But, the last time I gave a devotion, I spoke about the concept of a remnant and how many of us are feeling that the culture is changing around us, that we are no longer a Christian country or Christian region or community, even here in the Bible Belt. And it may be very discouraging for many of us, but how the Lord is perhaps not as interested in quantity as he is in quality. And he is really seeking out those whose hearts are fully committed to him. So today I wanted to just share an encouragement along those lines. When we were living in East Asia as well as in Western Europe, it was different there because there wasn't the cultural nuance of Christianity quite the same as there is here. So when you would approach someone about the gospel or sharing what's going on in your life or sharing your testimony, they were actually more open about it because they didn't have a stigma attached to it the way sometimes we may find here. So I want to encourage you with that today, that as the culture changes, as it becomes more secular, there are going to be more and more opportunities to share with people where they're going to be very open to you and very open to hear what you have to say and to hear your testimony. At the same time, I hope that we are all wise in how we approach that and strategic. In 1 Corinthians 9:19 through 22, Paul says, "Though I am free and belong to no one, I've made myself a slave to everyone to win as many as possible. To the Jews I became like a Jew to win the Jews. To those under the law I became like one under the law, though I myself am not under the law, so as to win those under the law. To those not having the law I became like one not having the law, so as to win those not having the law. To the weak I became weak to win the weak. I've become all things to all people, so that by all possible means I might save some." So I would encourage you to pray along those lines to say, God, this group over here, this person over here, this family member, how can I reach into their lives and become like them in some sense in order to win them over to the gospel so I can empathize more and more with where they're coming from. And, just to share really very briefly about that, we've been reading the book Peace Child at home, and it's about some missionaries in the 1960s who went to cannibals in the South Seas, and their practices were horrific, as you can imagine. And these missionaries said, God, what can we do in order to reach these people? We have no connecting point. Our cultures are completely different from one another. And God revealed to them over some time of living there that these tribes had a system where if they would give of their own children, give a child to the other tribe, as long as that child was alive, there was peace between the tribes and they would not fight and kill each other. So they were able to use that analogy to reach into that culture and explain how God gave his son in order to transform them and save them and bring them into his kingdom. And after that point, many of them became believers. I would encourage you to read that book if you have not read it before. But in the same way, pray that God would give you analogies and ways to reach into the culture of those that are around you, that you can speak into their lives and see them come to know him. I just wanted to close real quick with Matthew 5:14, because as the darkness increases, you have to understand that your light also increases. Even a little bit of light will shine brighter and brighter as the darkness around us increases. It says, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven."